Namaskar and welcome to another inspiring episode of Trailblazers. Many walk on the road made by others, but there are very few who pave their own path, block by block, brick by brick. Every week we will bring to you an inspiring story of great personalities who did not give up and made hugely successful empires right from scratch. Today we will meet a multifaceted personality who's not only a successful businessman but a very charitable too. Mr. Vijay Pasalkar, Chairman and Managing Director of Indo Schottle Auto Parts Private Limited.
I was born in the city of Belgaum in the year 1944. The house I was born in was an extremely small mud-built house. From my childhood I have been seeing cars being repaired, trucks being repaired, the workshop running. So that is how I had a very humble beginning in life. My father was not able to get good education when he was young. So he was bent on ensuring that we children had access to the best possible education he could afford to give. And in Belgaum there was a school run by the Defense Ministry. So my father approached the principal of the school, one Mr. Mani, and requested him that, please do something and admit my son in the school. The principal was sympathetic and he said, okay, though he does not qualify to be in the school, I will still admit him. I graduated from school in the year 1961. We had senior Cambridge as our curriculum, and I passed my senior Cambridge. When I was in first year college, my father suddenly passed away of a heart attack. So that was a very major jolt for me. And then I had to fend for myself after that, because none in my family could afford to really support me through college. But I managed. His passing away was a major blow to me, and the whole family, of course. However, one has to accept these kind of things in life, is what my mother told me at that time. She says, now you're grown up, he's no more here, therefore you have to build your own life and career. Therefore, look towards and focus towards that. So with her support, I determined that I will chart my own life.
We used to go for movies in the afternoon when we were in college, and we were in Western Theatre that one day, and then we used to have the national anthem going after the movie was over. And we were all sitting together, about 10 of us, and somebody in the next row started playing jokes when the national anthem started. This guy called him names and he says, come out, I'll show you. He had guts right from day one.
After graduating from BMCC Pune, Mr. Vijay Pasalkar headed to Institute of Foreign Trade, Delhi for higher studies. It was not long before he was spotted as one of the most talented students on campus and was offered a prestigious job in Kirloskar Group of Companies. And that's how his career began.
I was extremely fortunate in having known the Kirloskar family. Therefore, I approached Mr. Chandrakant Kirloskar for a job in Kirloskar Cummins. He was extremely supportive and he said, please join from tomorrow. So I joined to earn my living with Kirloskar Cummins. And I got a very simple clerical job at that time, but I was determined to prove that I was worth more than the level at which I was. So I worked as best as possible, and I believe some recognition was there. 2-3 years went by, then the Kirloskars decided that I should be shifted to another company of theirs called Kirloskar Kisan, and it was a order, so I had to obey and shift to Kirloskar Kisan, and I was made the factory manager of that company. I had to tell Mr. Kirloskar, now will you please shift me from there, or if that can't be done, I would like to be on my own. With great reluctance, Mr. Kirloskar said, all right, go and be on your own. Start your life on your own. And if you need some help, you can always come back to me. That is how I returned to Belgaum to start a small workshop of my own with whatever experiences I had gained with the Kirloskars. I decided that I will start manufacturing pesticide sprayers, mechanized pesticide sprayers. So I went into that business. I devoted my time into building that machine. Then you have to demonstrate the efficiency of your machine to the farmers. So I used to go from village to village, from place to place. After some years, I recognized that I was a failure. I could not market my product and sustain myself, the company, and the 2-3 employees that I had. So we debated among ourselves as to what we should do, and everyone thought that, look, we will shift from this business into machining of components and these kind of things. So to sustain ourselves, we shifted from that business, though we lost some money at that time, but we gained a lot of experience.
While working with the Kirloskars, Mr. Vijay Pasalkar decided he wanted to establish his own business. There were very few companies in the world that manufactured intricate automobile parts. Most of these parts were imported in India. That's where Mr. Pasalkar saw a business opportunity. The only thing that stood between him and his goal was the finance.
Bandya Kaka for me is a sattvic person. Once he has made friends with you, once he likes you, like he had a tremendous regard for my father. But after my father passed away, he has kept the same respect for my mother, and all the love that he had for my father, I think, has overflowed onto us, the kids, and he has kept that relationship. What I like about him is that he is interested in the person. He does things not because he has to do them, but because he ought to do them. He has that sense of responsibility, and he is very interested in the person.
A gentleman called Mr. Wolfgang Schottle was very well known to me due to the old business that I had. And with his help in identifying some equipment in Germany for me, I decided to call the company Indo Schottle. That is how the Indo Schottle name came into being. Mr. Schottle offered to support me with some investment, and that was a sum of 2 lakhs of rupees. So with that, I approached CCOM, the funding agency in Bombay, and my application was promptly rejected, saying that capital adequacy norms were not in my favor.
Of course, no one was ready to invest their money on Mr. Pasalkar's venture. That's when his friend from Kirloskar Group, Mr. Wolfgang Schottle, invested the initial amount in his business. And that's how Indo Schottle Auto Parts Private Limited was born. Today, it's 28 years old and soaring new heights every year. With a turnover of approximately 200 crores and export of 150 crores, this wasn't an easy cakewalk for Mr. Pasalkar at all. Back in 1985, he opened his first workshop in a village which was called Uravde near Pune. Employees refused to travel to this remote place, so Mr. Pasalkar had to take them with him every single day. In the initial days, he even struggled to get his basic necessities like electricity, water and transport.
In the early 80s, the rule of license Raj was extremely tight in our country. I had to go by train in the third class compartment to Delhi, stay in the YMCA because they charged me only 20 rupees a day. Then go to the DGTD, salam every officer who was there to get simple things done. One day I met one Mr. Nair in the Bombay office, who, I'm just telling you an anecdote, probably it is very funny now, who was a very pious and religious person, and he was the Director General in Bombay. So my file had gone to him for some 2 lakhs of rupees or 3 lakhs of rupees worth of import. So when I went in, I saw that, he had a lot of vermilion on his forehead. He had photos of gods and goddesses behind him. And he told me, what do you want and all that. And he says, come next week. So by this time, I had decided that, I must gain his sympathy, because without sympathy, I could never get my things done. So I went to a Ayappa temple in Chembur, and I applied those vermilion on my forehead, and I went to the DGTD office and then visited Mr. Nair, who was very surprised to see me in that state, and said, are you also a devotee? I said, yes sir, I am a devotee and I have got some prasad for you from the temple. After that, Mr. Nair was terribly sympathetic, and he was a godsend for me, really. As long as he was in the chair in Bombay, most of my work was without fuss and delay. The product that I started Indo Schottle with, had a certain design tooling which we had to use. And I got a patent from the Government of India for that design. And I started manufacturing my product, which was an import substitute item. People used to import that extensively at that time. Because of my patent, I was able to go to these companies and present my capability, or my company's capability really, which was looked at with great suspicion, because everybody thought, how can a small company like this, deliver to us large volumes without error, and that is a vital part which goes in the engine. So it took a lot of persuasion and hard work to overcome difficulties. One day, Mr. Schottle came to India and he said, look, I have possibility of getting a large order for you, but then you have to take this risk, because once you accept the order, delivery is not a matter of discussion. Quality also was never a matter of discussion, but delivery also was not a matter of discussion. So we took that risk. It's a European company, a fairly large company in the automotive sector. This order was for something like 11 million collets, and we took up that challenge with Mr. Schottle's support. We started delivering those collets to Mr. Schottle, and who used to ultimately give it to the customer, and that gave us a big boost, because at that time it took care about 4 months of my total capacity utilization. The first profitable years for Indo Schottle started. Till that time, it was not possible for me or for the company really to give me a fair salary also. For the first 4-5 years, I never took any salary because I couldn't put my own hand in my own kitty. So a time came when, you know, the company people said, now it's time for you to take your first salary.
Indo Schottle is India's leading manufacturer of valve frame components and auto ancillary. They are even the preferred suppliers of precision machine components and assemblies to the automotive and turbocharger industries.
One thing led to another. We then opted to enter into the high precision fuel injection component industry. Many people do not know that the diesel engine high precision fuel injection area is a very large area of business, which, you know, with the likes of Bosch in India and Cummins, who make their own fuel injection systems, could be a very exciting opportunity. So we entered that area, and I believe today Indo Schottle, you know, is very well established in supplying components to the fuel injection industry. The last 28 years of Indo Shottle's journey has been extremely rewarding, delightful, exciting, and full of great hope. From a meager turnover of 5 lakhs of rupees in the first year, today the company has progressed, and the goal of the company now is to really reach a figure of 500 crores of rupees. The company has progressed rapidly in the last some years, and my vision is that Indo Schottle should become one of the largest manufacturers of valve collets in the world.
Mr. Vijay Pasalkar's Indo Schottle Auto Parts Private Limited has been regularly awarded by their customers for excellent performance. Not only that, they've also bagged many global prestigious awards. Indo Schottle plays a very important role in common man's life. You may ask how? That is because every vehicle has to have Indo Schottle part in it. Every 2 and 4 wheeler available in India has to have their component in it. Incredible, isn't it?
What you see is Indo Schottle today is something that I think he's built with his own hands. 2-3 good qualities that I'd like to mention about Vijay Pasalkar. He's an amazing technocrat. He has a good feel of technology, especially in this space. And he has done a great job of building a high technology business in Indo Schottle. He makes those small components that go into engines and engine components. And I think he's one of the few people in this country who does it at global levels or global standards. So he's done a great job building up a business, even in a city like Pune. But, you know, in terms of percentage, these are a small percentage of our total small and middle sector industry. So I think he's exceptional from that point of view. He's done a great job. He's very successful. So I think, you know, that sets him apart from many people.
Mr. Vijay Pasalkar believes in giving back to the society. He has taken many initiatives for betterment of the society. He does this by sponsoring a few schools and providing quality education to the underprivileged children in Maharashtra and Karnataka, one being Vijay Pasalkar Vidyalaya in Karnataka. Many tried, many failed, but one stood the test of time, and that is Mr. Vijay Pasalkar, a proud owner of globally renowned company Indo Schottle. That's all for now. Next week we will bring to you yet another amazing success story. Don't miss it. Goodbye for now.